look at that. The game's going to get cranky, and then I'll pull it back up. I don't know why it does it.
Don't forget to stream to the Discord.
Yeah, for some reason when I first launch the game, it always immediately crashes. I don't know why that's a thing, but there we go. All right, so welcome. This is going to be the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Part 8. Got our cast and crew of able and willing, however begrudgingly, voice actors joining us tonight. Seth is out this week, getting some rest, rescuing dogs from the Himalayan mountains or whatever witty excuse I've come up with. But the rest of the cast is here. Sharky has made it back, it appears. You know me, I'm Kios. I'll let everyone else introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Shibu. I'm the wife.
Hey, I'm Sharky, back for episode 8 of The Ocho.
I am Oniheart. Excuse me.
I'm sure everyone will appreciate me not doing the lady's voice this time. And viewership will go through the roof.
Only my wildest dreams. Oni, can we get like 25% more volume from you?
25%.
Yeah, give me like a little more.
Oh, hold on, I have to open my window.
I gotta turn up my. Am I still low?
That's a little bit better. Okay, can you double it and then cut it in half?
Double it and then cut it in half.
Yeah, I need you to double it, right, and then cut it in half. Either way, no, that's fabulous. That sounds pretty good. Get my there we go. My capture's a little bit better now. Plagiarism is always bad. Ask me anything as a history major, and I'll tell you why plagiarism is bad and why I was the most valuable teacher's assistant that ever existed. All right, but hey, part 8, let's get a roll on. I believe once we left off, we were about to launch into one of those massive course correction things. Oni, we're going to have you picking up Seth's stuff.
Okay.
Get to prove all of my deductions completely wrong.
Just absolutely cancel you live on the internet.
I mean, that's not a real thing, but at the same time, it's probably very worth it.
Yeah, you just had to work yourself in the character there, mate.
Trying really hard. Why is it method actors are always assholes? It makes no sense. Also,
fragmented
Capcom's
personalities,
sorry.
borderline schizophrenia, and DID.
DID, is that what people play with dragons?
No, it's the thing that prevents you from having babies that they wedge up your hoo-ha.
Oh, right, that's an IUD.
No, those are the things that blow up on the side of roads.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Anyway,
lost.
we'll thank our friends at Capcom for the tremendous opportunity.
Which we have completely ruined, I'm sure.
This is weak shit, white man. All right, enough. Go on. And scene.
Anyway. Now, everyone, let us begin. I should also look off of Discord and not off of stream.
I'd recommend it. Yo, have a great one, Echo. Thanks for swinging by. I'm really eager to see how your model
Take
comes
2
out.
Electric Boogaloo.
Best of luck.
Now,
thanks for swinging by. Let me know if you ever need any.
Sherlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular.
You need a reverb button for that.
I'll get right on that.
Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Topic 1. Intruder's identity.
Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death is nothing to do with me. This whole thing is nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall this horrid event, your aching heart smarts with pain.
She does have a pained expression on her face.
Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind.
But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly. Is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression then?
Let's take a moment and really look very closely at Miss Pavlova.
What am I looking for?
She has such petite ears among that beautiful hair, like little pink shells. That's weird.
Oh, what's that? There's something attached to her ear.
I expect that's what's called an earring. It's a little piece of jewelry.
Earrings were a novel concept in the 1900s? In Japan? I'm not even going to question. All right. An earring? Is it? Oh, it really is tiny.
Perhaps part of it is missing. Maybe it broke off. So now all that's left is the little clasp part that attaches to the ear.
If that's the case, she doesn't appear to have noticed that it's broken.
Ew.
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 Whoa, easy there. She's only 15. Please, God, no. She really does look troubled.
Yes, it's hard to believe she's putting that expression on to fool us.
But if you look closely, it's almost like she's actually staring at something.
At what do you think?
Perhaps something's physically causing her pain? We should have a closer look. No. Oh, yeah, there we go. It is missing.
This is the same though.
Oh, no, this is
There we
definitely
go.
different now.
Ah, that's an earring. The crescent moon part looks as though it was made from wood. It's charming, isn't it?
Women do seem to love adornments like that. In their hair, around their necks, on their fingers, and even hanging from their ears, it seems.
Well, jewelry is beautiful, Naruhodo-san.
I like how they spelled it properly. Oh, there it is. Found it.
Oh, Naruhodo-san, look. That looks like a very painful wound.
It looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal. And fairly recently, too.
Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here. Unless...
Bum,
There's a
bum.
picture of her with her cat. Is it Beef Stroganoff's exposed midriff?
Stroganoff?
It is not in there.
They just give you I'm sorry, they give you a whole view of that. Okay, so what the hell are we missing?
Well, I think you found it, but you got to present it right.
Do I? Can I do that?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, thank you for reminding me.
At least it wasn't his borscht.
Yes, when you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain.
Indeed, and simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh.
Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night?
Ellipses.
When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse.
It is that very pain that evidence your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night?
Portentous.
Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without a doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. Thing still terrifies the Capcom out of me.
It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavlova's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it?
The snake scratched her?
Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? Hey Bubba, do snakes have claws?
Um,
I'm not getting close enough to find out.
Aw, dude, snakes are really cool.
no, they don't.
I will tell you this, Sharky. Most snakes are like really super chill, and they don't feel the way you expect them to. It's like really weird.
I love it.
They're
This
like,
from the guy who says they drink milk.
no, pilk.
Oh no.
Pilk.
Nah, but
Not silk.
snakes are like, like you think like, oh, it's scaly, so it's got to be like this rough, coarse thing. They're incredibly smooth and oddly cold to touch. Not cold, but cool to the,
Snakes are my favorite.
you know, the old
I'm
nope
gonna-
rope, danger noodle.
I'm gonna follow that on under information I will not use in the future, but thank you. Right, back to British.
Yep.
Let's go.
What is an index finger? Correct.
They don't even have hands or feet on which claws might grow.
They're a tube. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What's the true identity of this friend of hers?
We should follow her gaze, Naruhado-san. That's where we'll find the answer.
Found it.
I don't know
Crikey.
why you're looking there.
Her friend Steven
I mean, it is
Stroganoff.
blinking.
Don't look at my salami.
This milkshake bring all the boys to the yard.
Don't look at my salami.
It's like, it's better than yours.
What's up, Alana?
He could teach you, but he'll have to charge.
I'm gonna guess it's the photograph of the cat. Like this one right here. Ah, look at the photograph in this frame.
That cat looked.
This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away.
She is exceptionally beautiful, isn't she?
Yeah, I love black cats. They're adorable. Yeah, that's true. But personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that's caught my eye. Maybe we'd better take a closer look at this.
Ever seen a cat before?
Yes!
Yes!
Little kitten.
Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us.
Yes. The scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear.
Oh no.
The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you?
Taka is my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind.
Darker would appear to be a Russian blue, and yet that fact leaves us in a quandary.
Where the fuck is the cat?
Damn, that snake's
Victims'
getting
written
close.
observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band.
Snake's
Jesus.
getting close to you, Sharky.
Freaking terrifying.
He's saying hello. How are you?
Whereas, regrettably, I will now run screaming. Go on. Where is regret? Please make the snake stop. This specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night?
Oni, I
That's
think
you,
that one's
Oni.
you.
No, don't look at me. This has nothing to do with any of this.
Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Yes, that which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can only be a snake's sloughed skin.
Did you see that?
She just took something out of her back pocket and hid it behind her back.
If she just left it in her pocket, no one would have ever known.
Oh yes, ploys like that are Mr. Holmes' specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced to reveal something.
I thought deduction was his specialty. Or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too.
Actually, induction, I'm quite good
Anyway.
at woman.
I find it hard to believe that that's the skin of a snake.
In which case... Just what is Miss Pavlova hiding behind her back? What is in there?
Crack.
Well, it is speckled, and it is a band, but what is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy. A long piece of cloth of some sort. And it looks like a handle at one end?
I think it might be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently.
How is that a toy for cats?
Cats like to chase the band around and pull at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play.
And to ruin this voice line, kittens in particular love that sort of play. Oh.
So, can
Context.
So can we get some confirmation on this internet catboy speedrunner?
I like to bop things around, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Internet Catboy, for your wisdom.
Catboy of the internet, what is your wisdom?
Pissing out the window and shitting out the window are two completely different things.
Sponsored by Capcom.
You only need to wave it in front of them, and they pounce to catch it.
Haha! That sounds positively adorable.
Yes!
Yes! Yes! The thing you are trying but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy.
Precisely, and the true nature of this now infamous speckled band.
Ah,
And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume? Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it.
But why? For what reason?
My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her feline friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return.
Ah!
In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka.
Daka Blaka. What's the crime? Murder.
A truly troublesome feline young Darka is proving to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing this photograph of your pet, Miss Pavlova.
The photograph of
Okay.
Miss Pavlova and Darka has been entered into the court record.
Still don't understand where the cord is.
It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator.
Fresh.
Oh, but she wants to voice act too.
She
Darka,
can be Darka.
she is so naughty. Conclusion: A beloved kitten. Topic 2: How Mr. Ahsoki Died.
Moving on, we come right to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data which we have been apprised, it would appear that there were no visible signs of injury. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom.
What Mr. Sholmes says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body.
That's right. But Mr. Sholmes seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma wasn't poisoned.
Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now.
I swear to God, if I think this is what's happening, I'm just
I
gonna.
have an idea, but
It's so dumb. It's the only thing I can think of.
Climbing in your window, scratching your people up.
Yes!
I know what it is. God damn it. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report.
Ah, yes, I knew it was one or the other.
Huh? His neck was...
Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that.
Seaman Stroganoff isn't some immortal freak, you know.
Not with that attitude. The jury is out. Anyway, I have it on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm that at the scene of the crime.
Oh no. Could there be?
Yes! An examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively.
Cosma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something or someone.
Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found, though.
Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep up behind Cosma and deal him a fatal blow.
Lethal
I
karate chop from
suppose.
Kitten.
Kitty death lasers.
Internet cat boy, what is your wisdom? How deadly are kittens?
All femboy catboys should have battle mechs.
That's not inaccurate.
It's possible that he had a fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident.
Oh, yes. A bad fall could explain it.
It's rather hard to believe of Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man.
No, that's my job. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened?
Yes!
Because it's the same color as shoe polish. Yes, an examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively.
This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish.
Shoe polish?
Indeed. Positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish.
And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of Mr. Ahsoki's laced leather shoes. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, Mr. Ahsoki must have caught his foot at the point on the floor, tripped.
Please, no.
And, by a dreadful turn of misfortune, caught his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebra shattered. In that instant, he lost his life. He rolled a nat 1 apparently.
No!
Critical failure!
Wait, so what the fuck does it have to do with this lady in her
I-
flat?
Don't know.
Oh, you'll see, and you're gonna be mad.
Don't know anything about this.
Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? Oh, it's so dumb. You're gonna be mad. What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Ahsoki lost his life?
Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case.
I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it.
I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened.
But
And if this part of Mr. Sholm's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes.
where, I wonder?
Well, let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. Ah,
Imagine getting smoked by taking the hardest L.
This is a waste paper basket. Perhaps all the first-class cabins have them.
but Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably, there's not much rubbish in here yet. Oh, what's that?
It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I feel like I've seen it somewhere before.
If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you.
Yes!
That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that waste paper basket.
Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object, it would seem. One that has a familiar air, in fact.
Precisely. We found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asagi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly.
Oh, n-
Oh, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that particular part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, could be found in the waste paper basket in your cabin?
Ka-
You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not?
I don't.
I don't know. And that ushed Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have found conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question.
What?
Take it away, Mr. Naruto.
Yeah. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell, well, that would be...
Yes!
If you look at this photograph, every time I do, it makes me laugh. You can clearly
Every time
see...
I do. Sorry.
God, no. No more Nickelback. We already have enough Creed here. Hanging from Darker's collar, the very glass bell in question
Did you disable that Creed yet?
no.
Should probably get on that.
Yeah.
The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall.
And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Darka.
Darka. Sure we didn't sync that up at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that
we
was,
tried.
that was alright. That was good.
Ellipses.
I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Conclusion. Death by tripping over a cat. Really, dude? Really?
Yeah, I figured it out when I saw the photograph with the bell. I was like, are you absolutely out of your mind? The answer, unfortunately, was yes. I was correct.
I fucking hate that.
I told you you'd hate it.
Also, Capcom, that.
Really, Capcom? Really?
Sorry, Capcom.
Well, why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. Murderer?
It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands.
I'm gonna tell you, I've had a hell of a time not saying Darkra every time because of Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Do you still want Hosnaga or you want me to take it?
I mean, I can if you want.
Nah, go ahead.
You
You
want-
flexing tonight. You flexing.
Okay. I gotta remember what I did for you. Okay. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her.
And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it?
Yes. And I had read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed to have Darka with me. Yes. Modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought it's safe to Oh shit, my bad.
That's you,
It's
Sharples.
alright. Yeah, I was just enjoying your showums there. It's, very, very well done. Time to up my game here. So at that point, you thought it was safe to try to lure the kitten back again? By dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator into the adjoining cabin?
Darko always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return.
So the faint whistling sound Cosmo wrote about in his diary was Miss Pavlova trying to retrieve her pet.
Lots of a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened.
Yes. So there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then, I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out, and then, oh, it was such a dreadful bang. And afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent.
Kazuma was...
From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Burya is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Ahsoki was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could have easily caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards? I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator.
Yet Daka is now nowhere to be seen.
I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she's disappeared again.
Gracious, that cat is an insufferably Gracious, that cat is as insufferably restless as I am.
Well, he knows something about himself, at least.
Don't talk so surprised, Ryanosuke-kun.
When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back.
Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake?
You're right! Where is it?
Well, if the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it? Where did it come from? What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board this ship?
Oh, I didn't say? Snake is my friend. His name is Piruzoko. I don't know what the fuck.
What? What?
That snake belongs to you? He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him here.
Yeah, how did that snake get into this cabin?
But animals are not permitted on board.
Well, it's a nope rope.
We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands?
Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better?
It's still terrifying to me. But my dear burly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake. Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in.
No venom. Rizoko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long but very gentle, like Capcom. He is adorable, like Granny.
Calling horse shit on this. It's venomless.
Yeah, it doesn't have the markings of a venomous snake.
Yes. Now he is hungry. So he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile.
And you feed him milk, I suppose?
Like they say, they milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Brizolko eats mouses. Big, fat, juicy, round mouse.
Ah. Oh, so, is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for?
Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food?
Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now.
Ellipses of Bjordera. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It can't climb up a bell cord. And it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role?
It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Brizolko has nothing to do with this incident.
So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death.
Ellipses.
Huh.
I love that all. Oh, you finally have words!
It's been a minute. Miss Pavlova?
Huh?
I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life, and if you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you.
But what are you talking about, Miss Mikotaba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident.
Featuring Jim Carrey.
I forgot he was in that movie.
Count Olaf, baby.
I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, to be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it.
Ellipses in British. I confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter.
Oh,
I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruto, are simply a distraction.
a distraction?
I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable.
Not again. When did he do that?
Especially as they're now on your wrists as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call.
You were Mr. Sholmes?
Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not?
Yes. Cosmo was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom even.
Congratulations on the sex. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion.
Orgasm?
I would hope.
Capcom!
Righto, Governor.
Nah, I don't give a shit. That was funny.
Thank you. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruto.
Yes. Whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. Sure of it. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo.
So then, shall we begin?
Yes!
Wait, we have to do all this again?
Well, we
This
should
should be like the
bond-
final wrap-up, I think.
I would hope so. But what we should bond of first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in this first instance.
Oh, but we've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over and the kitten that had climbed into this cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident.
Hold it! Wait! Let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it?
I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid.
Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right there in Cosmo's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't have possibly been a mere accident.
Really?
Let us show our end, Mr. Naruto. Time to present the evidence.
I'd like to present these hands.
The evidence that proves unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident.
Well, if he broke his neck, he wouldn't be able to write. I mean, like,
Not with that attitude.
yeah, I know. The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Ahsoki could have left this message on the floor.
That script. It's Russian, isn't it?
Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe.
I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case.
But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast.
That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not.
Sorry. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Ahsoki could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Instant death. Instant death.
Instant death?
Yeah, it's like instant noodles, but worse.
Instant death?
And it doesn't take 5 minutes.
Wait, Gladio's here?
I'd love a fine cup of noodles, if you know what I
I was just gonna
mean.
say that sounds like I'm banging right now.
Go make them. Which means after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't have possibly have written anything. Y'all okay with a break in like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Because he was already dead.
That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Ahsoki's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true.
Correct. Did anyone else catch what this is gonna be?
What?
Is it the other half of the bell?
Mm-hmm. How is only one half in there and the other half's in her trash? So, Susato-san has noticed it too then.
It was around its neck.
Putting this message on the floor side, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words...
Yes!
This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor.
But that's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic?
Unfortunately, there is a very big flaw. A fatal flaw.
What?
If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin?
Ah!
Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova?
Oh no.
Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Ahsoki died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth in order to cover up his or her own guilt.
Yes, there was someone else present when Mr. Ahsoki's...
Hold it!
That's you.
You are
Omi.
wasting time. Someone else was there? Nah, of course, we know this.
What are you talking about?
Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There is no way in or out. Oh, yes. And the only other person in cabin was young student. When young student died, was you.
Yes!
It's true. I was in the cabin when it happened.
You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, with the Lion and the Witch, to be precise about the details.
Lion, the witch, and the audacity of this bitch.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but I don't know Russian. There's no way I could have left the message.
Not would have. There's no way you could have left this message, to be precise about the details.
Would you mind?
Forgive me, my dear fellow. The snake terrifies me.
I will literally deboard you from this boat. As I was saying... Yeah, let's trust the Englishman with his grammar throwing U's and everything where they don't belong. The person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I'd been asleep in there the entire time. Yes, you, Bubba.
Oh. And then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen on the floor. for fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Asagi really died.
But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions.
Yeah, well,
It was past 1 o'clock in the early morning hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would have barely cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of this tiny item.
You all suspect me? You're
Seaman Stroganoff?
Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel of being criminal.
Ah, so that's it. Yes, Seaman Stroganoff. Yes.
You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth.
Well, this is almost interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure?
You are a great detective, you should know. Look, truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could get into the cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or do you want me to tell me? Killer can walk through locked doors. Niet. It's impossible.
Ugh, he's right.
But wait, I've read about this in the detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside.
Red, are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors.
Certainly not. They are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel with not a gap in sight. No needles or threads or magnets could have been used.
No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so...
It must be true!
throwing shade.
Might be.
Susato-san, how could you shift it onto me like that?
So, Seaman stroked me off. It has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have... Damn it, you guys have me saying it unironically now.
Dude, he's the man.
The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside.
Not necessarily. Broke me off, I believe that's you.
What?
I don't know why that wasn't picking up at first.
I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without lying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of this method I have in mind having been used before.
I don't believe it.
Well, Mr. Naruto, I believe you know what I mean, don't you?
Way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the side? One way does spring to mind, yes.
Do you really know what Mr. Shums means, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes. And so should you. Because we've seen it happen.
Indeed we have. So would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruto? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt across from the outside.
Alright, y'all want to break real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I'm
Alright,
good with that.
stretch break. We'll be right back. Whew.
Am I the only one who has no idea how this is gonna happen?
I know. Anyway, I hope y'all are enjoying your time with us. Definitely don't forget to check out our wonderful cast tonight. Check out our boy Oni Hart, boy Lil Sharky, as well as the wonderful wife Shibu. Make sure to get up, stretch, move around, and if you're missing out on the story and want to catch up, definitely feel free to check out the YouTube. I'm just gonna stretch real quick, grab a snack, and we should be right back.
That's fine.
Stretch and stretch, stretch. Ugh.
No lines. Feels bad, man.
Oh no.
No, the only ones we really have that I like are super spicy, and I don't feel like that right now. I don't feel like super spicy butthole tomorrow morning. Capcom.
Damn, I could go for some noodles.
Yeah, but the only ones we have are like the ultra mega people do it as a challenge online and hot one.
Oh, I've never had any of those before. I would actually like to try them sometime.
They're good. They're not awful, but they're just yeah, like the ultra spicy, unnecessarily hot fucking. You need like 13 pounds of hoisin sauce to get through it. I forget what they're called, Chris. I just know that they're like the obnoxious, like they're not even like tasty, they're just hot to be hot. And I don't need to clear my sinuses at 11:45 at night. Bubba, Freya's sad she didn't get any line. Oh, she's precious. Oh, Bubba.
Man, this music is bumping.
No kidding. Although it probably helps that this won't get claimed by YouTube, unlike, Can you take me higher? I saw a couple of the YouTube VODs that were like, this contains content from Creed. Poor guy. But anyway, I started blasting.
That the music started dropping, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting into my roles now.
You're really looking forward to the bass drop, aren't you?
Yeah. The next case is going to be interesting. There's a lot of different roles in that one.
I have no idea what I'm getting into, and I'm scared that I only have one British voice. This is fine.
I mean, the next case does take place in England.
Oh no.
So everybody is some kind of European accent. Did I just say European?
Did.
All right.
I am deathly afraid for our good cat boyfriend's viewers.
No, we're fine. We're back.
Yeah.
We're back, and I see there have been no $1,000 donations, no Emmy awards, no Throne wish lift gift roonies, no 1,000 tier 3 subs. I'm disappointed. Anyway, I have a great snack, so.
Tony Hot has rated with 1 million subscribers.
I wish. I wish.
I would do anything. I would honestly do anything I could to flex on people like Baru right now.
You think you're better than him because you're better than him?
I think I'm better because I treat people with basic levels of respect generally.
For real.
Except for politicians.
Ferret butt, ferret butt. Ferret butt, ferret butt.
Freya just had a nightmare. I had to wake her up.
I'm still just waiting for you guys to put a camera on Ondor's collar and have that included along with the Freya cam. Just a wireless GoPro or something.
Yeah, they're like $300, I think.
And the only thing you would see is him sleeping on all of my clean clothes piles.
I mean, that's not unentertaining.
All right, you ready to wrap this?
Please. Oh, God.
All right. Well, I think it's here.
Yes!
Yes!
Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over?
That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before.
Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel, after all.
Yep.
When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over.
I believe, yes, that's what's known as the force of inertia, acting on the object.
Is there nothing Susato-san doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book at least?
She's met momentum.
Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door.
Ah!
It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then...
Hello, is anybody in there? Shout if you need assistance.
This is easier when we know who's on the other side of the door.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that sounds like...
That sounds like you eating yogurt.
Shh.
Inspector Hosonaga. Oh, yes.
Oh no!
That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across and blocked the door.
Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of Inertia, if you want to call it that.
Are you trying to say that last night, after Mr. Ahsoki was killed,
Well, that's convenient.
Isn't it?
SS Burya made another emergency stop?
When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hands across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over.
Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I?
Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. All the books and everything had toppled over, just like in Mr. Ahsoki's cabin.
Oh my.
Oh my!
Oh my.
Ooh,
Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova?
Are you out of your mind? You say Burya made emergency stop. It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room?
No, it is simple enough.
Is it?
Content
Huh?
warning. British deduction. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm.
Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you to only press the button in times of emergency.
On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity.
Hmm.
You looking a little sus.
Wait. It was you?
When the button is pressed, do things happen in the interests of safety? The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today.
Oh, Sholmes, you.
Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who...
As I always say, a button has one purpose in life. You be pressed, whatever the occasion.
He sounds almost proud of himself. It's pretty sickening, really.
How dare you mess with my ship? I report you to Captain. You're in much trouble now.
Now, I'm sure we can all wait till later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learnt a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolt on the cabin door slide closed. So, what we
That's
must
good.
now consider... Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Ahsoki, did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not?
You're idiots. Burya is a huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop, even in the middle of night, there will be chaos everywhere.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruto?
Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea.
Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo?
Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency gripped this vessel last night?
This one's pretty obvious. Does anyone remember it?
I'm going with the ship's log.
Hey, attaboy. Seaman stroke me off? It's your duty to patrol the first class area of the ship, isn't that right?
Duh, that is correct. Why?
And the ship's log here. Well, this would be where you record the details of your duties, right?
What are you doing with that? That is mine!
Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. Responsible passengers, we took it into our care, with a mind to return it to you later.
I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always.
The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase, "nothing to report" every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all.
Nothing recorded in the log? That is... Duh, because nothing happened.
But if nothing happened, you would normally write "nothing to report." You?
Oh,
Indeed so. Which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened here aboard the SS Burya. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact.
Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
stop talking rubbish!
If I'm
I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself.
Oh? Why?
Well, because of something as major as an emergency stop really had happened. Surely all of us would have noticed.
That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night.
Well, no. That's a good point.
Ipsies. What of the throbbing?
The throbbing.
Sorry.
Not you, kitten.
What do you mean?
Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since the morning. We've all suffered with it.
Ah,
Oh, yes. I have had a headache. You're right.
Would it have anything to do with the absolute fucking savaging that happened to your face?
You
This
know,
is
I am
separate
worried
from
about
my-
his condition.
This headache is separate from my ass whooping. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today.
nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Is everyone drugged? What's going on?
Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected.
He's right. My head's been throbbing today too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy.
So everyone was drugged.
Yep. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Why?
Tell me why.
PCP.
I was gonna say GHB, but
Tell me why, Ryunosuke-kun. You boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you?
oh, well, yeah, sorry.
The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on?
Well, Cosmo looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals.
So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it?
Okay, but also, who the hell eating a whole chicken in one sitting?
What? Why are you
I mean, I
shaming
can,
me?
but like, who's gonna do that in the, presence of others?
There were no others. He was in the wardrobe.
We don't king shame him.
Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Cosmo wasn't fond of chicken. Weird champ.
Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all?
That's right. He didn't touch it. Is that relevant?
Ellipses. My dear fellow, does that not strike you?
Oh. Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken?
I do.
No. Really? Is that really true?
The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with.
This is getting more complicated for no reason.
tampered with by the addition of soporific, designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it.
Sleeping drug?
Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? How about ASU?
Oh. Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea. I'm over here thinking about yogurt.
What?
Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator.
That seems excessive.
What?
Mr. Sholmes.
Well, seaman,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals. For aiding and abetting a renegade. Paragon for life.
Please. No. I will tell everything. I cannot make a problem like this for everyone anymore.
Those crewmen are your former comrades, I believe.
Yes. So when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me.
We all agreed to help. Everyone together. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet. Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel.
I don't believe it.
You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night.
Yeah, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. Just spit it out.
No. We could not make all drug. How do you say? Dissolve.
You have a weird way of talking about Ahsoki-san there.
Right? Ugh, talk about heavy seasoning.
At midnight, in water near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by comrade on shore with small fishing boat.
While all the passengers of the SS Burya sleep soundly. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion the evening meals had contained.
So, if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who dislike chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. People who don't like chicken.
I actually know somebody from my work who genuinely does not like chicken at all. Like
Oh,
any kind of
yeah.
chicken, won't eat it, hates it. No.
And
Here
that.
with me.
Go ahead.
I feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight.
Chicken tonight.
Yes. Sorry, please continue.
It's all good. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock. Oops. To lock Cosmo's cabin door.
But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos.
Oh, I wouldn't say so.
What?
Ah, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins. After which, they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug.
Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night.
Yes.
The overwhelming majority of passengers would have habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway. And so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find their door locked in the morning.
Oh, but she is cranking.
In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning.
Yeah. You have talked long time and said many things.
True.
Thank you.
What is point?
The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide a broken fragment of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door.
I swear to God. Like, bump the bumper one more time.
All told, a bussy night.
Pussy.
But I don't know about any of this. I'm just a little girl.
You like to speak with your long English words. Explain your clever ideas.
Magic Man, explain clouds to Joe. Explain cloud to Joe Rogan, smart wizard man.
But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories. I don't even know how to read. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes.
Yo, what's up?
Except
My
for
name's Oni.
words.
I'm 27. Never learned how to fucking read.
Best vine
Jones?
ever, dude.
I find your literacy to be a laudable trait.
What?
I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything, and reading is nothing.
What's up? My name's Lil Sharky. I'm 2 years younger than Kios, and I also never learned how to fucking read.
If you notice a minute, you can see the tail how his ears twitch when he lies his little ass off.
It's a shame it's not little.
You are 6 or 8. Actually, I believe you're 8 years younger than me, you little twat. Mr. Naruto,
You're a twat.
Oh, yes.
do you hear it? The accusatory cry of guilt on the wind.
No, but I think Hosonaga farted.
What accusatory cry of guilt?
Oh, excuse me. That was me.
You're not wrong.
Sorry, you've lost me.
Wait, I'm confused. Didn't they just confess to everything? Why are we playing this game now?
Proof is
Because they're still
involved,
lying.
But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No. You must hear it with your eyes. Observation is the basis of all deduction.
What are you talking about?
I believe the time has come for one more final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. Tell
Oh shit, there's another one.
No.
Oh, this happened to
To
me.
me.
So, Mr. Naruto, your assistance, if you please.
And if I say no, and I just ask for you to kill me now,
I mean, we can do two things.
with what exactly, Mr. Sholmes?
With observation, my dear fellow. Just as I said, of these two prevaricators.
A word, isn't it? Observation?
If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Ahsoki's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two was there when it happened.
Precisely. You are delightfully quick to grasp my meaning.
So the cat bell's not enough, the Russian word's not enough.
Capcom.
The cat's in the cradle with the silver spoon.
Alright. I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there last night when Kazuma died? Oh boy.
I like that
We.
still has the marks on his face from where the snake wrapped around him.
I was gonna make a comment about his biceps, and then I think that's actually one of the things.
Yo, what the fuck that?
Oh wait, I know.
What's this? Oh, look at this. It's some kind of stain in an unusual place.
Yes, you're right. It looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken.
Ink. And look at the color, too. It's clear where this came from.
My man's shirt is tight as fuck.
That midriff, though.
He's copping my steez right now.
I was gonna make a statement about lower back ink, but I only know it by what's probably a derogatory term.
That's okay.
Tramp stamp?
Yes.
That's okay. It's still the industry standard. Seaman Stroganoff, you seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there.
And crop tops are not a personality by a longer shirt.
Hi, what's up? I'm Kios. I wear crop tops so I don't have to have a personality.
I believe that statement is that being a femboy is not a personality.
I don't know. Denny's awful.
Yes, I don't know where that dirt comes from.
So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain?
What are you trying to say?
It would appear that the significance of this stain has escaped your attention, seaman. Allow us to make it plain.
It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov's uniform.
And I think what made it is. Sorry, the ferret's drinking behind me. It's very distracting. And I think what made it clear. And I think what she just keeps going. And I think
I was waiting for the reverb. So, Renosuke-kun, present the evidence that proves it.
My pleasure. All right then, the evidence that proves what that stain on the back of Seaman Stroganov's uniform really is.
Yes!
Yes! Yo, what's up, Rowan? Thank you for 17 months on the Prime, homie. Super appreciated. How are you tonight? Yes, it's this photograph and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform.
Only ink?
Stop. A rather unusual color of ink. Purple.
Yeah.
The penny drops at last. Now you see the significance.
The Russian words on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of the exact same color.
Oh no.
If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilled.
Yeah. Alright. Yes. It was me. I did it. Everything.
Huh?
I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I pressed button to make Burya do emergency stop and bolt cabin door shut. I did everything so no one would suspect our angel.
Biff, please.
Oh, that's right, he has a first name.
My Stroganoff
worry.
has a first name. It's
Let me do
B-I-F.
talking. It was after
Please
1
go
in the
on.
morning. I was on duty, patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet.
Biff, please, you must help me.
I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw student boy on floor. What happened here?
Please, don't tell anyone. My little one. My little furry friend.
Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Ahsoki's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Oh shit. That was your line? Whoops.
Oh, it's all good.
Yes, that is right. So, after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers?
Only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor.
She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling on floor. That's when she went to look.
No. Angel? Wait, did I just read somebody else's line again?
Nope.
No, that was yours.
The door was not locked. So she opened to look, and you already know what happened after.
There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind.
What? What is it?
When you went to Mr. Asagi's cabin, Ms. Pavlova... Was he already dead?
Why?
I already told you. When Nina opened...
I was asking Miss Pavlova.
Well then. Well, Miss Pavlova?
Nah.
Oh.
Yes. That is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared.
So she snapped his neck.
I understand, and I believe you.
So, is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last?
Probably not.
Nope.
Something very nearly slipped my mind.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes? You're still here.
This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate accident that precipitated these events, a kitten, upon which the victim stumbled. However, if these are the facts, there is just one particular area in this photograph that seems to be somewhat unnatural.
What do you mean, unnatural?
What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruto?
Hmm? Oh! Well... if Kazuma tripped and fell, and by some terrible stroke of bad luck broke his neck, which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? That one.
Yes!
Hey, what's up, Galuda?
Alright.
All
That's
right.
your line.
If he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then this fist just doesn't seem quite right.
The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open the palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something.
What do you mean?
Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago.
You did?
And what, pray, are you laughing about, my dear fellow?
Nothing. Mind your business.
We don't kink shame here, it's okay. Oh,
That's you,
gosh.
Bubba.
Mr. Sholmes, show us, please.
Why, of course, my dear madam. Why would I keep you in suspense?
We are not going to make it through the rest of this. We have like 2 minutes.
Let's do what we can.
Yep. Oh.
This is what I found.
Oh, a crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle?
Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It's very pretty, but what does it tell us? It tells us nothing.
I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks... It looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Do you want to call it here?
It's up to you guys.
Yeah, it's 12:30.
Yeah, just hit 12:30.
I was gonna say, how much longer is this?
Oh, well, we need to prove this, and then there's the wrap-up, and the wrap-up always takes like 30 to 45 minutes, so...
Lord Jesus, have mercy on my soul.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. I have other things to do before bed that are already annoying enough to you.
Like Genshin?
Genshin dailies, and I have to get the VODs up to YouTube, and I also have to do SGDQ submissions really quick. Thankfully, that's the shortest one.
Yeah, then let's call it.
All right, we will call it here. That is
That case could have ended like 37 times.
welcome to Herlock Sholmes. But hey, that's been it. Part 8. If y'all want to extraduce yourselves, feel free.
I'm Shib. I'm the sleepy wife. Feel pretty sleepy.
I'm Sharky, and if you want to see more evidence of me annoying the absolute hell out of Kios, please check out the Ori playthrough on YouTube. It's quite smashing in how it ended.
With no Smash controllers.
I am
Only one.
Unihart. As you can see, I like to voice act.
As you can also see, Onihart has talent in voice acting.
Not so much in King of Fighters. I saw your boy Shaq went live. You about to catch a whooping?
Shaq's about to get. Shaq's gonna get these hands. He was
Good.
ducking me in Guilty Gear. He's gonna get these hands in King of Fighters.
All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging with us and swinging by. Definitely take a look at our cast tonight. Give them some love. Posted their info in the chat. And we will bid them adieu as soon as I can dig beneath my documents and leave the Discord. But thank you all so much. Y'all are terrific. Catch you next Monday. All right, friends, that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Another episode of Great Ace Attorney Chronicles in the book. If you enjoyed the stream, definitely feel free to join the Discord. Check us out. Talk with us. Hell, if you want to maybe try and see if we can fit you in for some voice acting, let us know. We also do a lot of community games, and it's a great way to keep track of our activities. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, definitely recommend it. It's a great way to catch up on this, especially if you unfortunately end up showing up late, Gluta. Yeah, we, normal time, we got to rock it to bed. But definitely feel free to toss a subscription on that, pushing to get at least verified on there. And if you want to support the people that support me, definitely check out our friends at Capcom, hooking us up with this, and our friends at Square Enix, which have hooked us up with so much stuff as well. If you want to support some cool businesses that also work with me, check out Grinding Coffee Co. for some fabulous coffee. And our friend over at nerdtease.ca. If you want to hook me up, spoil your favorite catboy on the internet, show that extra support, definitely feel free to hit up the merch store where you get a discount if you're subbed, as well as the Throne wish list full of all sorts of goodies to make my life and streaming life easier, higher quality with better content. But I must call tonight. For now, Y'all have a terrific, terrific time. And we'll be back tomorrow. DMC. What do I have? Oh, DMC, Monster Hunter Rise, and Elden Ring. But thank you all so much for showing up, just being awesome. Be well, and we'll check you all tomorrow.